Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the senator from the 12th for bringing us those words from then Governor Miller about the middle class, working families in the state. And I also rise to talk about the Hope Scholarship. And over the last few weeks, we have begged the members of this body and the governor's office to engage in a genuine discussion on this issue. And we have not been met with facts or discussion. Instead, we have been met with name-calling. In fact, they've called me some names that I'd never heard of, and I had to go look them up. Frankly, I don't mind the name-calling. I don't mind it at all. I kind of signed up for it. But I do mind that no one is willing to face the facts. I do mind when no one is willing to admit that the Hope Scholarship is vanishing before our eyes, and I do mind that no one else is offering any solutions to the problem that we face. I have a few facts I would like to share with you, and these are not my facts, they're not Democratic facts, they're just facts. First, the Hope Scholarship as we know it is gone. The document that you see in front of you is a chart that was prepared by the Senate Budget Office using the same assumptions used by the Student Finance Commission. You'll see that in 2016, Hope pays for less than half the cost of college. And by 2020, the students who earn the Hope Scholarship will still only pay a couple $100 less than the full cost of college today. That's not a deal. That is full price. And every year, starting now, it gets worse. You can see where those lines will go. Every year, hardworking, middle-class students who work hard and earn the Hope Scholarship will still not be able to afford college. And if we continue down this path, we will march backwards. We will turn back the clock on the exact issues that you just heard Zell Miller speak about when he introduced the Hope Scholarship, the need for an educated workforce, the need to ensure that the middle class and the hardworking students from the middle class can afford and access to higher education. And if we turn back the clock on those issues and we turn our back on the middle class, then we also turn our back on a strong economy and a prosperous state. And we do it at the worst possible time for our economy, because as we look to the future, we do not need less highly educated people. We need more. Everyone knows that. The Hope Scholarship, put simply, is not a patient that has been stabilized. It is a patient that is dying a painful death, and the other leadership of this state today says we should stand aside and watch. I don't believe we can afford that mistake. Second fact, the Democratic plan to provide hope for those hardworking middle-class students is less expensive than the governor's plan. If we assume that our floating income cap this year was set at $140,000, which includes 94% of all Georgia families, you'll see the numbers from the governor's plan on the board. $408 million, $235,018 for the governor's plan for the Hope Public Scholarship. The governor's numbers come from the budget. Our numbers up here come from a simple calculation using the administration's own numbers. If you look at the report that's on your desks from the State Department of Audits, go to Table 3. You can calculate the percentage of students at each school who will receive the full scholarship under our plan. The percentage with a family income of under $140,000. You multiply that percentage by the number of students and then by the tuition at the different schools. That provides the cost for the full tuition scholarships for all of the eligible students. That's just multiplication. And you will see that the total expenditures under the Democratic plan are about $34 million less than the expenditures that we will do otherwise. What that means is that it is cheaper to preserve the Hope Scholarship for the middle class than it is to destroy it. So why are we here? Let me show you the geography. Under the Democratic plan, the full Hope Scholarship is preserved for 100% of the Hope Scholars in the green counties on this map. It is preserved for more than 90% of the Hope Scholars in the blue counties on the map. And it is close to 90% in the red counties. Let me show you, under the governor's plan that we have decided is the policy of our state, the only people who get a full scholarship are the Zell Miller Scholars. Let me show you where the Zell Miller Scholars live. Each dot on this map represents 10 Zell Miller scholarships. We have taken the money from rural Georgia and from the middle class, and we have transferred it to Metro Atlanta and to the wealthiest people in the state. Let me give you some more specific examples about the Zell Miller Scholarship Program. If you look at these districts with equal population, District 11 in southwest Georgia has 90 Zell Miller Scholars today. And they will receive about $400,000 in scholarship funds. District 9 in Gwinnett County, by comparison, has 1,177 Zell Miller Scholars, and they will receive $5.7 million. Another rural district, District 19 in southeast Georgia, has 186 Zell Miller Scholars, and in that rural district, they will receive $700,000 worth of scholarship money. The 21st Senate District, equal population, the same number of Georgians live in each of these districts. And yet, the ones in rural Georgia will receive $700,000 in Zell Miller funding, and the ones in Cherokee County will receive almost $7 million. 10 times more money is going from rural Georgia directly to the wealthiest counties in our state. Now, let me make it plain. Do you think that is right? Do you think that is fair? Is that what we mean when we talk about the best and the brightest? The governor's plan takes the Hope Scholarship away from the middle class and away from rural Georgia and gives it to the elites in Metro Atlanta, whether those people need it or not, period. And I'm not criticizing the wealthy. I'm not criticizing people who do well on the SAT. I'm one of those people. And I hope my kids are. But the government can't pay for everything. And when we can't afford to pay for everyone, we have to decide which deserving students we pay for. And the ones who get good grades and the ones who need it most are those students. And every poll after poll after poll shows that the people of Georgia overwhelmingly agree. One last fact. I just have one more thing, Mr. President. Thank you. I apologize, Mr. President. One last slide. I got an email yesterday from the University System of Georgia. There's 10,629 Zell Miller Scholars, according to the university system. 400 of those scholars are black. That's 3.8%. Mr. President, I'm sorry that my time is out, but we're offering real solutions to these problems. And if they want to call us names, that's fine. As I said, that doesn't bother me. But doing nothing in the face of these facts, that does bother me. Mr. President, I yield the will.